Okay, so Nyx system, right. Initially, I gotta admit, I didn't have high hopes. Like, another star system. But then I dig into these excerpts you sent.
Yeah.
And whoa, this Nyx place. It's got some serious depth, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Nyx, it flies under the radar.
Right.
But that's kind of the point. It's got this, well, this understated reputation, the nebula surrounding it. It's not just for show, that hazy
That's
thing.
okay, it's a veil.
Secrecy. Perfect for, shall we say, those who like to bend the UEE's rules, or maybe just flat out ignore 'em.
Like a cosmic hideout. Got it.
Yeah.
So, let me get this straight. We've got 3 planets, standard asteroid belt, that's all kind of, space basics 101. But then we hit Delamar, this asteroid, home to the Levski settlement. That's where things get spicy.
You got it. Delamar, that's the heart of this whole system. Can't tell the story of Nyx without it. And Levski, that's the soul. Founded by the People's Alliance, they're all about freedom, real freedom. Left UEE space because it just wasn't their style. Wanted something different.
Yeah.
Self-sufficiency, autonomy.
Sounds like they'd get along with some of my listeners. But hold on. I'm also seeing reports here, talk of smugglers, even some whispers about pirates lurking around. What gives?
Well, see, freedom's a double-edged sword. Attracts all kinds. Where you have folks itching for a fresh start, you're going to get those living on the fringes, right? And that nebula, yeah, it's pretty, but it's also a shield. Hides a lot of things from prying eyes. Ships vanish in there, pop up who knows where. Hidden trading posts, the works.
So we've got, this idealistic group, People's Alliance, building their utopia. Then on the other hand, you got these fringe types just doing their own thing. How does that work? Don't tell me they all sit down for tea and crumpets every Sunday.
It's a balance, that's for sure. And it goes way back, see? People's Alliance, they started as a refuge. Back on Earth, escaping that whole mess, that regime, offering sanctuary, that's in their DNA. But they're also big on justice, fairness.
Okay, so how do you square that circle? You got folks running cargo under the table, probably some who think rules are just suggestions. That's got to cause friction.
Oh, it does. And that's where Aji Firmino comes in. This one, she embodies that whole push and pull, freedom versus the Alliance's vision.
Right, Firmino. This is the smuggler, right? The one who ends up finding a whole new star system. Talk about a resume builder.
That's her. Daring. This one. Pushed the limits, even in Levski. Cutting corners was her specialty. Some even say she wasn't above, using folks to get ahead. Not exactly the Alliance's poster child, if you get my drift.
So what happened? Got too bold.
She did, but get this, not before making a hell of a discovery. She's on the run, right? Just pull off a heist in Levski, things went loud. Her and her partner, Oisha Suin, they stumble upon a jump point, leading to, you guessed it, a system nobody knew about.
Hold on, they found a whole system while running from the space cops? That's some serious luck, even for Star Citizen.
Lady Luck was riding shotgun that day, I guess. Seems Suin, the partner, she's the tech whiz, had just fixed their busted scanner. Picks up this faint signal, right? Next thing you know, boom, jump point.
Okay, so they find this new system. Did they do the right thing? Report it, become heroes of the UEE.
Oh, no. See, Firmino, she's got that, what's the word? Entrepreneurial spirit. They jump to this new system, Bremen it's called, and who does she report it to? The UEE. But conveniently leaves out that whole running from the law bit.
Come on. Took all the credit. What about Suin, the partner? She go along with it.
Suin, not a happy camper. Felt betrayed, and rightfully so. She did the work too. So she does what any self-respecting kind of screwed-over spacefarer does. Talks.
Let me guess. Spills the tea to the Terra Gazette. Those folks love a good UEE takedown.
Ingo, they eat it up. Run this whole expose, Firmino's deception, the whole shebang, the UEE Department of Transportation and Navigation. Not pleased. Imagine that.
I bet they love that. Someone messing with their star charts. Did they take back the discovery? Knock Firmino off her pedestal?
Well, they investigate. Thoroughly. Turns out they end up crediting both Firmino and Suin as co-discoverers. The system. It's called Tohill. Bit of a cosmic irony, wouldn't you say?
Poetic justice. Sure. But hold on. All that smuggling they did. Surely the UEE didn't just forget about that.
Oh, they remembered. Warrants went out for both of them. Justice moves slow, but it moves.
So what happened? Space trial.
That's where their paths diverged. Suin, maybe because she came clean, got a lighter sentence. Eventually she went back to Levski. They even let her back in, lifted the banishment.
So Suin gets something like a happy ending. What about Firmino? Ever face the music?
Firmino, that one, she had a knack for disappearing. Word is, she went back to Terra, her home planet, reinvented herself, became a big-time businesswoman. Go figure.
From smuggler on the run to, captain of industry, only in Star Citizen. This just makes you think, what makes someone like Firmino push it, even in a place like Nyx that's supposed to be about freedom?
That's the question, isn't it? It's like her story, it's bigger than just one smuggler and her ambition.
Yeah.
Like a microcosm. Shows you the challenges of building a society where you have freedom, but also want fairness. Tough balance.
It's a doozy, that's for sure. But hey, that's what makes this Nyx place so fascinating, right? It's more than just some star system. It's like this big social experiment happening in real time up there in the black.
It really is, like a social experiment. And when it comes to that, nothing says Nyx quite like Levski itself.
Okay, so give me the grand tour.
Yeah.
My ship touches down in Levski. What am I seeing? It's carved into an asteroid, right? What's that like?
Picture this. You walk off your ship right into this cavernous spaceport, busy place, ships everywhere, every size imaginable, some docked, some getting patched up. You got miners, fresh off a run, probably grabbing a drink with some seasoned space types. Over there, traders arguing over who knows what rare goodies. There's this energy, like anything's possible. A little bit of that, Wild West vibe.
Okay, I'm sold. But it can't all be bar fights and backroom deals, right? We talked about this People's Alliance, their whole idealistic thing. How does that actually work on a day-to-day basis?
Ah, that's the juicy part. See, the People's Alliance, they're not about forcing rules down your throat. It's more about, collective responsibility. They believe in self-governance, which, let's be honest, is a pretty radical idea when the UEE wants its hand in everything.
So no Emperor Palpatine running the show. How's it work then, councils? Do they elect, like, a mayor of the asteroid?
Funny you should mention a mayor. Nope, nothing like that. Instead of your traditional government setup, they have this thing, they call it the Declaration of Intent. Think of it like, a social contract, a set of guidelines everyone in Levski's supposed to follow.
A declaration, huh? Let's say, don't shoot your neighbor's spaceship.
Something like that, hopefully. It's more about, freedom of expression, everyone helping each other out, and this whole idea of enlightened self-sufficiency.
Enlightened self-sufficiency. Okay, that's a mouthful. These space idealists, they're deep thinkers, huh? Break that down for me.
It's about balance. They're open arms for folks who want to escape the UEE's control, definitely. But they also expect folks to contribute, pull their weight. They're rejecting oppressive government, yeah, but also saying no to pure anarchy. You're part of something bigger.
So let's say I'm packing my bags, ready for a life in Levski. What's the welcome package look like?
Well, don't get too excited. No fruit baskets or parades. But they do have this sign. As you enter Levski,
Hanging, what's it say? Welcome to Levski. Population, idealists, and rogue traders.
Close. It's even more to the point. It says, even if you disagree with us, you will respect our right to life.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's direct. It's like they're saying, look, we're all about mutual respect here, even if we drive each other crazy sometimes.
Exactly. Sets the tone. Levski isn't some monolithic culture. They want people to coexist, even if they don't see eye to eye on everything. It's about finding a way.
I can dig it. But I gotta ask, how do they enforce all this Declaration of Intent stuff? What happens if someone goes full space pirate? Do they have a People's Alliance court?
From what I've gathered, it's not so much about, a formal system. Remember, they came to Nyx to get away from all that.
So more like social pressure keeps everyone in line. The court of public opinion.
That's part of it, for sure. But they do have ways of dealing with things, community councils mostly. They try to work things out, find solutions that fit with the declaration. It's a work in progress, But they're committed to finding a better way, even if it means constantly adjusting things.
Makes sense. It's like their history. It's built into the walls of Levski, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, wasn't there something about a statue?
Ah, you're remembering. Right in the heart of Levski, they've got the statue of Anthony Tanaka. He was a big deal back on Earth, part of that whole anti-messer movement.
Right, a symbol of resistance. Staring down anyone who steps foot in Levski. Makes you think, even light years away from Earth, these historical figures, their impact echoes.
Ideas are powerful things. And the people of Levski, they carry that spirit of resistance with them. It's a reminder why they chose this life, this constant search for a society free from tyranny,
Like they're sending a message. We may be out here in the boonies of space, but we haven't forgotten where we came from. And we're building something new, something better.
You got it. Nyx isn't just some random star system. It's a crucible. Ideas bubbling away, new ways of living, new ways of interacting, constantly evolving. And Levski is a testament to that experiment, still unfolding.
It makes you wonder, though, how the UEE feels about all this.
Yeah.
They can't be thrilled about this haven for, folks who want nothing to do with them, especially with a side of smuggling thrown in.
The elephant in the room, right. Here's the UEE, this galactic superpower, and then you have Nyx, a whole system basically saying, thanks, but no thanks, we'll do it our way. How do you even begin to deal with that?
It's this constant tug of war, isn't it? The UEE wanting control, the Levski fighting for every inch of independence.
It's complicated, that's for sure. The UEE, they can't just ignore a whole population, even if that population would prefer to pretend they don't exist. But any power play? That could blow up in their faces big time.
One wrong move, the whole thing goes boom. But here's the thing, and maybe this is just me. There's also this weird interdependence between Nyx and the UEE, right? Like, they need each other.
Now you're onto something. Remember those whispers about Synthworld, that whole project? Seems Nyx might be more important to that than anyone lets on.
Synthworld. Okay, for those of us who don't have UEE Megastructure Construction Monthly delivered to their data pads, what exactly is Synthworld?
Oh, right. It's this huge, super secret UEE project. Imagine, like, entire worlds built from scratch, engineered to support life on a massive scale.
Artificial worlds. That's some next-level sci-fi stuff. What's the connection to Nyx, though?
Well, it seems a lot of the resources, the materials for this Synthworld, they pass through the Nyx system.
Hold on. So even though they're trying to be all independent, Nyx is a vital link in one of the UEE's biggest projects. That's rich.
It is, isn't it? And it might explain why the UE is willing to look the other way when it comes to Levski. Mess with the flow of resources from Nyx could throw a wrench in the whole Synthworld thing.
Talk about an accidental power dynamic. The UEE needs Nyx, at least for now, and Levski. They get to keep their independence because of it. Weird how things work out.
Tell me about it, and it makes you wonder, how long can this last, you know? What happens when the UEE's priorities change? Or Levski pushes things too far? These are the questions, man, the questions that keep me coming back for more.
It's like we peeled back the layers of Nyx, and under it all, it's this intricate web. Relationships, politics, that constant battle between freedom and who's really in control. You know, it's funny, isn't it? This whole Nyx thing, they're all about telling the UE where to stick it, right?
Yeah.
But then they end up being a key part of one of their biggest projects. Irony, huh?
The universe works in mysterious ways, I guess. Even in a place like Star Citizen, all these systems, all planned out, you still get these pockets of, like, chaos, unpredictability. And that's where the good stuff is, wouldn't you say? That's what makes it feel real.
Totally. It's the stuff you don't expect, the stories behind the stories that make a place like Nyx come alive. Speaking of stories, there was something else in those files, wasn't there? Not just the smugglers and the political drama.
Yeah.
Something almost like, well, a ghost story.
Yeah, you must be thinking about the Eliojolan Cervantes case. Now there's a story that reminds you, even out in the black, human nature, you can't escape it. All the messiness, the tragedies.
Right. Eliojolan Cervantes, the child star, vanished. Poof. For those of us who haven't caught every episode of Untold Tales, that show about all the weird stuff happening in the UEE, what's the deal with this kid?
Okay, so picture this. Elio, he was huge, young kid, face plastered on every ad, every show. Then, 2940, he disappears. Gone. Nobody knows what happened. Authorities are stumped. The family's heartbroken. Years go by, case goes cold.
Man, that's rough. So is that where Untold Tales picks it up? They do, like a cold case thing?
Exactly. Seems they got this tip from a viewer, said, hey, look into this Liberato Kane guy. He was Elia's manager.
What'd they find? This Kane character. He was mixed up in it.
Oh, yeah. Turns out, this Liberato, he'd orchestrated the whole thing, took the kid to, wait for it, Delamar.
No way. Hit him out in Levski. Why in the world would you take a kid, a famous kid, to a system known for being anti-UEE? Doesn't make sense.
That's the thing, right? It's like this Liberato guy. He thought, Delamar, it's remote, it's chaotic, perfect place to disappear. A gamble, for sure, but it almost paid off. Almost, until Untold Tales came knocking.
So they find the kid. Okay.
They found him. He was living under a new name, Uriel Kane, trying to build a life, get away from all that fame that messed him up.
So, happy ending, Yen.
Whoop.
What about the manager, Liberato?
Eli went back to his family. Not easy, obviously, after all that time, all that baggage. But they were together again. As for Liberato, he got what was coming to him. Arrested, charged, the whole 9 yards.
Well, at least there's that. It's good to know that even in a place like Nyx, where the rules are a little fuzzy, someone's still looking out for the little guy. Even if it's the crew from a UEE true crime show.
It adds another dimension to Nyx, you know. It's not just about escaping the UEE, it's about second chances. People come to Nyx to start over, even if their past isn't pretty. But the past, well, it has a way of catching up, doesn't it?
No escaping who you are,
Yeah.
right? No matter how many systems you jump.
Exactly. And those stories, those hidden ones whispered in the dark corners of some asteroid bar, those are the ones that really tell you what a place is all about.
Makes you wonder what other stories are out there, hidden in Nyx. Miners who struck it rich, families running from something, dreamers just looking for a place to belong.
That's the beauty of a place like this, isn't it? It's like this big, messy, complicated tapestry. Every thread, every story adding something new, and sometimes they all weave together in ways you'd never expect.
So, to everyone listening, next time you're setting a course, take another look at Nyx. Don't let those nebula clouds fool you. There's a whole lot going on under the surface. And you never know, you might just stumble on a story of your own. Because in Star Citizen, just like in real life, truth is always stranger, always more interesting than anything you could make up.